if you look at it as you need to convince someone, need to sell something, of course, it's going to be a bit stressing or it could be heavy on you because you're going to face rejection day to day. Because not everybody that you approach will say yes to you, right? So it's normal that people will say no to you.
Business Lab.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Business Lab podcast. Thank you for joining us. My name is Abu Sofian, the founder of Seyrul Consulting. We don't just do public speaking, we don't just do sales, we do buy-in speaking. How do you get buy-in from someone? For leaders. Today we have a very special guest, because every guest is special. The Financial Services Group Director of TAQWA Organisation, Tuan Abdul Qayyim.
Yes.
Nice to have you here for the show, Qayyim.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, and today's episode is sponsored by our venue sponsor, Craft by 3 and ID Entity, and of course, our media magicians, StudioFive Corp. Thank you so much for the magic that happens behind the scenes. Before we go into the episode, let's find out a little bit more about Qayyim. So Qayyim is a successful business leader from TAQWA Organisation, and he transformed it into a household name, growing his sales team over 22 times. Not just that, within 15 years in finance, he transitioned from engineering to leadership, and he has demonstrated self-awareness and risk-taking throughout his career. And he is recognized as a top financial services director for 3 years consecutively from 2020 onwards. So he emphasizes collaboration, mentorship, and psychological safety within his team. Welcome to the show, Qayyim.
Thank you.
Very happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always meet each other on other environments, but this time around it's a recording. So very excited to jump straight into it. Today's episode I want to focus a little bit more on leadership and growth and teams, right? What do you believe a good leader is about?
Wow. Good leader is about, I think basically when you look at leader, they have the heart. They have heart for people. Right, and they take responsibility for their team, and they ensure that no one is left behind, and they want to make sure that everyone under their team succeed regardless of experience and background. Yeah.
So you said that they want people to succeed. Why do you think that's so important for leaders?
Because leader is a position of influence. I mean, sometimes when you take the position of a leader, you think that it's just a title, but it's a very heavy title, because when you are leading, right? I believe that it's a responsibility that you took, right, to lead, inspire, and change these consultants or this member of yours to have growth and to achieve their goals in life. Yeah. So the role of leader is not easy, but of course, with commitment and passion in grooming people, right, you can take your role well and succeed eventually.
Yeah. So let's provide some context to why we're talking about leadership. So could you share a little bit more? Your background, you're from engineering and then you went into the financial services line. Like, tell us a little bit more about your background. What made you jump, and what was your journey like?
Okay, I was trained in engineering, right? I completed my studies in engineering, but when I graduated my national service, I get an job offer as an assistant engineer. So I think I was very happy that I was eager to start the career. I think every parents, they want their kids to be either teacher, engineer, lawyer, doctor, right? So the position engineer was intrigued me, and I took the role. And 3 months into the career, I realized that engineering is not what interests me. Although I've been studying it for many years. 3 months into the career, I decided that I wanted to leave and explore something that of my passion. I didn't know at that point of time. So when I left in 2009, it was during the global financial crisis.
Wow.
Our job market was really bad at that point of time. I sent resume, I upload, and I was waiting for job interviews. None get back to me. So those that get back to me was all from the financial industry. So I asked myself, maybe this could be a calling. So why not just give it a go and listen to the career seminar and what does this career has to offer. And when I start to explore, I find many values that this career can offers me, and I took that leap of faith. And 3 months into the career, financial services industry career, I fall in love with what I do.
Wow.
And I lead a team of, before that I joined a team of, I get to know my cousins who are also in the financial industry. That's why I approached his team, and I decided that maybe I should explore. So 5 years as a consultant, going out, reaching out to the community, and I decided that maybe this is a good step for progression for me. So I took that role of leader and become a manager. Yeah, and eventually, alhamdulillah, to where we are right now. Yeah.
How many consultants do you have now?
Over 120, 130 around there.
Wow,
consultants.
that's huge. And when you first started, how many people do you have with
Oh,
you?
I started with 4. Yeah.
Okay.
And 4 including me. So 3 consultants.
Wow, that's really
Yeah.
22 times of growth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to know, like, what was the mindset you had when you joined, and then you knew that you wanted to grow and scale this team? Like, what do you tell yourself?
When I started, I wanted to ensure that younger generations have an opportunity to make a difference in the life of the community. Because when I'm going out there alone for 5 years, I mean not alone with a team of advisors, there's only limited thing I can do. Okay, but I find value. I find that the career is fulfilling for me personally, financially. Right, I was doing better, and income was good, and I thought that the younger generation can benefit from this, and I wanted to give them an opportunity to thrive and enjoy as much as I've been for the last 5 years as a consultant. So when I formed a team, at that point of time, it was only 4 of them. Yeah, right. So it took me about 2 years to grow to a strength of about 10. But slowly, I think each year I recruited about 4. So on the second year of my leadership of running the team, I saw the difference. I saw the product. I saw the results, the impact that I've made in terms of my consultants' progress and growth. I felt good, and I saw that they are progressing, and it was satisfaction and fulfilling for me. So I started to plan out what's next for the next 8 and 10 years, and that's where we sit down together, and we wanted to be a household name, right? So that when the community think about financial planning, the first thing that comes to their mind it's TAQWA. And at that point of time, there wasn't many Muslim financial advisor. So, and the Muslim community was quite reserved and wasn't open in terms of taking financial products. So there's a gap, and we wanted to go out there and create awareness. And eventually, we started to recruit, and I recruit consultants, and eventually my consultants grew to become a leader. So when I grew more leaders, that's where I think the ripple effect, we are able to reach out to a bigger groups. That's where I started with 5 managers from, and then they lead a team of their own, and slowly it grows from there, from strength to strength.
So here's the thing, Qayyim, like you managed to grow the team to about, you mentioned 120, right? But not everyone does that. Not everyone perhaps have that ability. My question is very simple. Like, what were the key factors that led to your growth when you led that team?
I believe in purpose, right? I start with purpose, and the purpose why I took the leap of faith to join the industry is to help the community. And the reason why I took the decision to become a leader, because I want to groom consultants. I want to see a lot more Malay Muslim advisors succeed, right? And can provide better for their family. And that's where I start with the intention that I want to recruit people and offer them an opportunity for them to succeed. And that's where I think that I was focusing on recruiting, focusing on amplifying their growth, providing the system and processes that needed for them to succeed. And eventually, when they do well, they feel good about it, they start to refer their friends in. And eventually, some of them took the decision to become a manager. And again, the ripple effect continues. Maybe I'm very lucky. Alhamdulillah, I have a very good, strong core consultants who started with me, right? And I think I took great effort and time to groom them, right? To groom them from someone who probably do not have any sales experience, and to eventually become a good sales consultant. Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about sales, right?
Yeah.
So this we rarely talk about sales as an industry on its own. What are
I think first and foremost, we need to understand how the interior design industry works here in Singapore. So majority of the IDs or the people who work within the interior design companies most of them are actually freelancers. They are not employed based on a full-time basis. So they work on a commission basis, So, and some business models or some ID companies want to have a lot of ID so that they can close a lot of projects on, My personal tip here is start with visiting the IDs that you have shortlisted or you're interested in. Look at their place of work, look at how they work, look at their office. Once you have done that, I think what you should also do here is to ensure that these IDs that you potentially want to engage are HDB licensed. Last but definitely not least, and to me the most important, because I think nobody do this. Okay. Once you have confirmed, or let's say for example, you really want to sign with this ID company, right? Go to Accra website and pull out the company's profile. Firstly, you know who are the directors, you know where is their office, you know when they were incorporated. Most importantly, you know how much they actually put in as the initial investment or the capital. So in the context of my industry, right, the ID industry, right, I always advise my clients, don't look for cheap, look for value. Okay? Because cheap don't guarantee you that you're going to get what you want. Okay? Because in order to be cheap, there are corners that I need to cut. But instead look for value. And when I talk about value here, it's not just what I use to build your home, how I communicate with you, how prompt am I, how am I, how I can advise you. These are all the value I add. So like for us, because I maintain a very small team, right? So we only manage between 2 or 3 projects a month. We don't do a lot of projects. So this way, my people are better at managing that project. We are at site more frequent. We are constantly there to check if there are mistakes being made. And our communication with the owners are more frequent, more kira macam more in depth. We are able to, yeah, correct.
What are the challenges that consultants face, and how do they overcome those challenges in sales?
Sales, I mean, if you look at it as you need to convince someone, need to sell something, of course, it's going to be a bit stressing, or it could be heavy on you, because you're going to face rejection day to day. Because not everybody that you approach will say yes to you, right? So it's normal that people will say no to you. So in line of sales, you face rejection. That's normal. I mean, rejection is bread and butter. We said that we always take rejection every day as a breakfast. Okay, but when I look it as when I was on the ground doing reaching out to the community, I approach it in a way that I'm advising. Right? I approach it as a because our role is financial services consultant. So consultant is where you give advice, you provide values, you give options and solutions, and the sales is usually the end of the whole process. Yeah. So if you're able to do the process well, that means you're able to acquire the needs of the client, you're able to understand the situation and goals, the priorities of the individuals, and actually you're able to build relationship, the sales comes in naturally. Yeah. So that's why I want my consultants to treat this career not just as a sales industry, but as a consulting industry. Means it's a noble profession career where you go out there and provide value. At the end of the day, if you don't get sales out of it, you don't feel rejected, you don't feel demotivated. If you find that you have actually add value to this family, even though they may not be in the position to get anything from you now, but at least you walk away knowing that you have done your job. And at times when probably they change their mind, they will actually reach out to you back. Sometimes people, when they reject you, they may not be ready financially, right? So yeah, when they are ready, they will get back to you. Yeah.
So it sounds like it's not so much like cutthroat sales, but really like providing services and value and solutions.
Yep.
Would you say that?
Yep. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's very interesting. Having said that, it is competitive, right? Because sales, the nature of it is competitive.
Yeah.
However, I also would like to ask you, what's your take on this idea of competition versus collaboration? What do you think is competition and what is collaboration to you? And how have you leveraged on those for TAQWA?
All right. We believe in collaboration. Why? Because I think from young, there was this coach of mine who taught me this one good value lah, which is positive winning attitude. Okay, so I'm a sports person. I play soccer. I play floorball back in school days competitively, right? And one good value is that I realized that every one of us, we want to win. Correct? We want to be successful. Nobody wants to be in a losing team or lose. But the thing is that when you want to win, when you want to succeed, we want to do it positively, collaboratively, in such that when I do well, I do not want to hold my resources. I do not want to just keep it to myself. I want to share, right? So I want to create my team that when I find when I do well in the line of what I do, I will be openly go out and share with my other colleagues, right? I share my best practices, and from there, your best practices could be my best practices. And when we are able to exchange values, we are able to exchange resources, great things can happen together. Yeah, because competition is not with others. The competition is more to yourself. You're competing against yourself. You're competing to be better than you are previously. You're competing to develop good work habits. You are competing to rise up, to be disciplined. So collaboration, when you put everything together, you realize that the team are more collectively positive because they trust each other, and we are able to maximize resources and able to get the best out of each other. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing, not every person that has a mentor or a leader first is develop themselves and gets a success. So my question to you is, what's your take on what a good mentor is?
You have to be upon trust, right? You have to be upon trust, and because trust is, it's of course, trust not just about I'm keeping secrets, that I need to be open to you, but in terms of you're able to accept my constructive feedback. Means when I give feedback, I'm serious about it, right? When I do it, means genuinely is for your best interest. Yeah. So a good mentor, I believe that they want to change someone for the better, and to the extent that they might, if they need to do it hard, they have to do it, because sometimes you cannot just be all the time nice, right? They say if you want to be nice, sell ice cream, right? If you want to be good, right, be a leader. Yeah, so be a mentor. So so sometimes you need to be hard, and you need to be vocal at times, and just give it to certain advisors why they need to change, why they need to do certain things. Yeah, but at the end of the day, both of you must be mutually understand that it's for the betterment, it's for the trust, that is for your growth. Yeah, I believe that is a good mentor. They don't just reserve it, oh, you are good, just all of the surface, general mentoring. Okay, you can do this, you can do that. But at the end of the day, you don't see any progress. So I'm very specific. Yeah, if I need to commend, and if I need to be blunt, yeah,
you will be.
I will. Yeah, but then again, the next day, I can shake your hand. You are
Right.
professional, right? And you know
Yeah.
that it's for best interest. And usually my advisors after that, they will just few weeks later, a few days later, they come back to me. Yeah, I think whatever said is true. Yeah, I will take it. Yeah.
I see.
At that point of time, they might be reserved again. It's like a rejection. It's like a thing that they receive. And even for me as well, as a leader,
Yeah.
as a mentor, when my consultants, when my leaders or my mentee come to me and provide me with feedback, I'm very open. Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned several words there. I want to pick out one of the words, which is you mentioned this word growth a lot,
Yeah.
right? If you are very invested in growth, how do you ensure that your team wants to grow too?
Okay. So growth is on a, sometimes people look at numbers, and in sales it's normal to look at numbers, right? In order for you to grow, for you to see growth, you have to look at sales results.
Yeah.
Your numbers must increase, your appointments must increase, your number of clients must increase. But I look growth in the sense that you are progressing day to day. That means you are better than what you used to be. So for example, growth, let's say for example you have difficulty coming in office early on time.
Okay.
But now you make an effort to make change, that now you are reaching office earlier than you used to be. That is growth. Yeah. So it doesn't need to be value data. It could be your character. It could be your attitude. Yeah. So that is growth in my opinion. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm hearing growth. I'm hearing like getting feedback. Okay. What if a person says that they want to grow and they get feedback, but they are still not progressing, perhaps in your industry? Then how would you approach that as a leader?
I always look at the positive side. So we want to focus on not just the weaknesses, right? We want to look at the strength, because people, when you acknowledge their strength, when you acknowledge their effort, right? It builds confidence and it builds motivation for them to continue doing it. So I will look at their strength and share with them that how they can maximize their strength and move closer towards their goals.
Right.
Yeah, because eventually we're in an industry where we need to earn, right? And their livelihood matters. So I try to be more specific, right? What are the area of growth? It could be the attitude, it could be their sales script. So you need to identify what are their areas of growth.
Right.
Yeah, and then once as a mentor you need to be specific, and once you identify, you give them a timeline, give them a homework, you give them and you have to follow up, right? Upcoming coaching session, can I see progress? If I'm seeing progress, that is growth, right? The results, it will eventually come, the sales will eventually come. Yeah, because when you align with all the values, when you align with all the other activities, the sales will eventually come. Yeah, just a matter of time.
I'm very curious to know, you've seen many advisors excel in the industry. What are the common traits of someone that succeeds in the industry?
Focus, driven and focus. Because if you're not focused, you tend to do other things. You're half-hearted here, neither here nor there. Then you will not want to make things happen. And I think those driven individuals, when they are focused, they get things done because they want to make sure that it happens. If I have weakness in certain area, if I'm not converting my appointments, I don't have many appointments this week.
Yeah.
Right? So the next week when I come back for my calling session, am I focused enough to get the work done? Right? So when I sit down, how many numbers do I have? So my whole objective is that during this calling session, during these appointment setting sessions, I need to secure 10 appointments. If I don't have 10 appointments, what am I going to do the next day? So you are focused in such that you want to make sure that you get it done.
Wow.
Right? You find ways to make it happen. You don't just say, you blame on the environment, you blame on the leads, you blame a lot of other things.
Right.
But driven individuals, they just make things happen, they focus, and they evolve activities that is required until they get it done.
Oh, that sounds like a tall order. It sounds like a challenging task because we live in such a distracted age, right? So I'm curious to know, what are some of the tried and tested ways you felt like will help yourself and your team be more focused and excel as a leader?
Because opportunity is everywhere, right? And when you are focused, you realize that, I'm very optimistic when I face with certain challenges, when I interact with people, how can I find opportunity in this situation? And opportunity is not just there waiting. You have to grab it, and you have to make things happen. You have to maximize the situation. Yeah, and we find business opportunity, we find collaboration efforts, and ensure that there's pathway for all of us to work on. Yeah, so as a leader, I think you need to be fast, agile, and really you need to be optimistic. Yeah.
I mean, you've grown the company from, I think it was four people, four consultants, and then now it's like 120. What's your take on where the company is going? What's your hope for the future?
When we started 11 years ago, we wanted to be the leading organisation. Alhamdulillah, I think we are the leading organisation for the last 3-5 years. But what's next is very crucial. So we sit down and we analyze what we want next. Is that not just to be the leading, but we want to provide first-class experience for our clients. We want to provide first-class experience for our consultants, so that when they put through our training program, right, they don't just become a normal ordinary advisors. We want them to able to provide value-added experience. Yeah, today clients, advisors are looking for experience that they can cherish and continue building that relationship. And already we are in a relationship business, so the future, what we are heading is that we want to be a hub for the community to go to again, right? Not just for financial products, but more than that, we want to provide value-added services like estate planning, right? More than just financial consulting. Yeah. But it's a work in progress. Yeah.
How do you feel about this work in progress?
Excited. I think I'm a man of vision, right? And I need to be positive. I need to be excited day to day, working on towards a vision, towards a vision that we want to achieve together. And Alhamdulillah, I think we hope to partner with a lot more businesses, a lot more organization, in order for us to achieve that. Yeah.
Oh, right. There you guys have it, right? It was a very nice conversation with the Financial Services Group Director of TAQWA Organisation, Tuan Abdul Qayyim himself. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'd like to thank our venue sponsors, in particular, Crowd by 3 and ID Entity, and of course our media magicians, StudioFive Corp. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget, wherever you get your podcasts, be it on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, please share and like, and send it to your friend if you find it valuable, okay? And you might see a description box down below. If you see the description box, do answer the questions, help us improve the episode. And with that, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Till next time, take care. Bye-bye.